advice.
take I have.
No,
No,
you
we're
gave
gonna
the
get it very
advice,
quickly.
and I feel like you got to bring it to the airwaves.
Just really quick.
You framed a scenario if I was about to get mugged, which
Well,
would
not
be,
you, because I
which
think
would be
you'll be
really
fine.
interesting at 6'8", 320 pounds, getting mugged on the streets. It could happen. People out here are crazy.
In New York, people are nuts.
Exactly. But what was the advice that you gave me, Evan Cohen, if I'm being mugged in the streets of New York City at 6'8", 320 pounds?
Real quick, Gav, just be careful because whatever you're saying went on the air, even though you thought you were talking to us. But back to your advice, though.
I said, can I say what I was going to say, or am I going to get in trouble here? Is what I said.
I mean, we're already there.
Well, I wasn't planning
I
on
think
doing
you'll
this
be
on the
fine.
air.
I know you weren't playing. We're already there.
Okay,
You'll be
so
fine.
a friend of mine had an idea once, and he said, and I think it's a really interesting thing. If God forbid you were getting mugged, strip down, take your clothes off, because the mugger is going to be a little bit thrown off by that. Of like, what is happening? This person is crazy.
What?
Or the
I would
mugger
not-
will take your clothes and run away with them.
Okay.
Hold on. So this is just a theory. This hasn't been field tested. Like you're like,
Correct.
Like you're not getting this from law enforcement officials.
No, think about
Where-
think about all of a sudden if you're coming up to me and you're trying to like mug me.
Yes.
God forbid. And all of a sudden I strip down and I have nothing on.
There's no chance that you'd ever do that.
I wouldn't do that, and I would not advise others to do that in this room.
That would be me.
Yeah.
But you advise me to do
I don't advise anyone to do it.
like, not for Smallman, but for Canty, yeah. Go ahead and do it. See if we can get them all world
That's
star.
right. That's right.
As someone who
how do you-
thinks, as someone who thinks he can be a detective, imagine like now the cops show up to the scene, you're naked, and they're like, "Wow, so they took everything?" Well, no. So what happened was, I was told, "Take off your clothes. You're gonna scare them."
There will be
It didn't
people-
work. It just they took my clothes. Now I'm standing here naked.
And they took my wallet because it was in my pants. That I voluntarily took off.
What if the Robin just says, "Thank you"?
How are you?
You made
gonna-
this super easy for me.
Really?
Yeah. Then you get away from
very
them.
professional
No more harm.
of you.
They're like, oh, wow,
harm.
they're checking the tags. These are my size. Thanks so much.
How are you going to throw them off?
You're going to get arrested for public indecency, and the mugger's going to get away.
Maybe not the best idea. Maybe not the best idea.
No, I mean it's a very interesting idea. I've never heard that before. Of all the different things, all of the different ways that you could go for that to be the response.
It's creative.
Look at me now, Grandma.
Okay. How much did they take? They took everything.
And I gave it to them. Everything.
Everything but my socks.
Now, why was that on the air, by the way? Let me just see
Oh
something
my
here.
goodness.
Was that on the air, too?
No, that one worked.
Okay, so I
there
hit
we
the,
go.
Hit the wrong button.
Okay, got
We
it.
got to get to your big take here.
Yes.
Well, so the Eagles yesterday hired Sean Mannion as their offensive coordinator. He comes over as the Packers quarterbacks coach previously. He played in the league like 2 or 3 years ago as a backup quarterback. And by history, or as history has shown us, the Eagles offensive coordinator either gets fired after the year or becomes a head coach after the year. This guy has never called plays in his life. So by logic, is it fair to say that Sean Mannion is now the hottest candidate for the 2027 coaching cycle, head coaching cycle, and potentially about to get fired? And he has not coached a game yet.
Very fair take.
It is. Interesting.
If we're looking at the history of the position, as you just said, you either get elevated to be a head coach because you did an awesome job, or you're going to get fired after a season because they have the talent in place and you didn't maximize it. So, yeah, I can absolutely see it going one way or the other, especially for someone like Sean Mannion, who obviously is a fast rising star. A lot of people think that he is a bright offensive mind. People want to be the first one in on somebody like that. They want to identify the next Sean McVay. And if he goes to the Eagles and after a disastrous season with Kevin Patullo, he turns things around and that offense gets rolling again and they become a force and potentially get back to the Super Bowl, you don't think that some team that's down on their luck and maybe is drafting a quarterback or needs the offense to click into place isn't going to say, well, let's take that guy. Let's be early on Sean Mannion. And also, by the way, when I was saying that the Miami Dolphins were trying to turn their franchise into Lambeau South, you laughed and said, why? But it seems like there's been a drain in Green Bay, not only in the front office, but within the coaching staff, too. So maybe you want to shift your stance there? Because clearly there's a lot of smart and bright and talented
Have you seen the
people.
reactions to Jeff Hafley's staff? Have you seen the
Well,
reactions?
Nathaniel Hackett people are not excited about.
You don't say. Have you seen? I mean, some of the reactions to the staff they're building in Miami is very sad.
I'm just telling.
I'm not saying the coaches are sad. I'm saying the fan base is sad based on this is not getting us excited. Now, I'm sure if you look back at some of the early staffs of some of the great coaches, a lot of people are like, who are these people? They emerge to being great stars. So I'm not saying that Hafley is going to do a bad job, nor am I saying his staff is going to do a bad job. But I will say this one feels different because I've seen Packers fans upset about this because they wanted to keep this guy. Why? Because LaFleur calls all the plays, and they think something needs to change. And if this guy's that good, maybe you let him call the plays or give him some play calling, keep him there, promote him, and maybe you have a guy that could help. They never said that about Hafley. Nobody was upset, seemingly, that Hafley was gone.
Cece, I have something for you. So when the Eagles initially started that search and you were hearing names like Mike McDaniel, Brian Daboll, you were thinking, okay, Kevin Patullo came in, first year on the job, calling plays. You always said you can give somebody the same brushes and the same colors. It doesn't mean they can paint the picture. And a lot of these names we were hearing experienced in that role. We thought maybe they were going to go back that way, even though Nick Sirianni has done it in the past and he could always step in. But what do you make of the fact that they went with somebody who, yet again, is going to be a novice at that particular part of the job?
Well, I would have to know more information, but from what it feels like is that the candidates that could have potentially been interested in that job, that interviewed for that job, decided based on the current dynamics, the state of affairs in Philadelphia, they didn't want to go that route. So I think it's fascinating to know, and maybe we'll get the answer as time moves on and we start to see more, but which party ends up deciding that they don't want to pursue the opportunity? Is it Brian Daboll? Is it Mike McDaniel not wanting to be involved with the Philadelphia Eagles based on the state of affairs? Or did the Eagles as an organization decide, hey, we want to go the route of this young, unproven coach because we believe in his upside? I'd be fascinated to know. The thing that makes it interesting, though, is that it seems like there's a sense of urgency in Philadelphia to take advantage of this window that they've created with this current core of players and to go with somebody that's never been a play caller and only has 2 years experience as an NFL coach, period. That's a huge risk to take.
Is it automatic that if you're a quarterback, you have an ability to call plays or no?
No. Play calling is art, not science. And it takes a while to develop the skills in order to be able to do it.
But are they ahead of everyone else?
Sure, because of how they see the game. It's kind of like a catcher in baseball, right? You see the game a certain way, it lends itself to being able to manage the game.
Okay.
So, yeah, quarterbacks have a leg up when it comes to that. But just because you played quarterback in the NFL or you held a clipboard on the sideline as a quarterback in the NFL doesn't mean you'll be able to step into that job and be successful. It just doesn't guarantee that. And I guess that's the bigger point that I'm trying to make. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, do you have time with this core of players to be experimenting, or do you need to go with somebody that is more proven in the role?
So is it more likely in 2027 that Sean Mannion, new offensive coordinator for the world champion Philadelphia Eagles, we still have to say it that way because there's still yet a champion, obviously, this year. Is it more likely that Sean Mannion is a head coach next year or fired after this year?
Man,
I know it's more likely he does a second year.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Me too.
Just because I want to be glass half full when it comes to this. So let's fingers crossed, hope this thing works out, because that would be the pattern with offensive coordinators. It works out, doesn't work out, works out, doesn't work out. So this one hopefully will work. But, I mean, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, that's an uncomfortable pattern to be cycling through for your franchise quarterback. And I guess the point that I'm trying to make is you're hoping that you hit on Sean Mannion, but was Sean Mannion the guy that you needed to risk it all for, given the fragility of everything that we've seen in Philadelphia in recent years?
Are you going to be glass half full with the Eagles like Cece is here?
Well, yeah, because it's my guy from Green Bay that's coming over.
So you're going to have the bias
No,
in there.
but we're talking about how much pressure. Well, you said there's not as much pressure now in Buffalo, but in these certain organizations with these decisions, these hiring decisions, the pressure that's on their shoulders now. Philly clearly has the talent to compete. They have the most expensive roster in the NFL. We know the defense was obviously not the issue last year. It was the offense. And they finished 19th in points per game, 24th in total offense, and first in 3-and-outs. And you're giving the reins with this roster to somebody who's never done it before. It's a bold decision. It's a high risk, high reward type of decision, but they have a finite window to get back and try to maximize the talent that they've collected on this roster.
Again, he might be the next Sean McVay, so I don't want to
He could be.
Exactly. So I don't want to cast aspersions on Sean Mannion. But was this really the best that you could do? Was this really the best that you could do? And if it was, then there's a bigger conversation that's there to be had about the state of affairs with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Coming up, we got 4 downs. There is no on-field football. There's Pro Bowl games this week, but we are